Good morning, and thank you once again for tuning in to Choices Now TV. I wanted to come to you today with something that I came across, particularly pertaining to the state of Florida and a recent bill that was just passed. Um, so I want to bring it to your attention. So if you know anyone that may benefit from this information, I would hope that you would pass it along. And it is House Bill 7065, House Bill 7065. It contains 34 pages, and I went through this particular bill because I was interested in uh, some of the details. When the governor signed the bill, he came across as stating that this would be called the Responsible Father Bill or Responsible Fathers. He was he was coming across as this bill would it's about responsible fathers, but this bill is about so much more, and I want to just kind of go into it just a little bit so that we can really shed light. Sometimes when we hear things, we think that's all of it, that's the meat of it, but we really should go in and examine the text and see what it's really about. Now, the actual name of this bill is entitled, it says, a bill to be entitled an act relating to child welfare. So this bill is actually about child welfare and how, the benefits that children have and what's available to them, and how to incorporate fathers into a more productive part of this child's or the children's individual life, be that they're still here. A lot of kids end up in foster care for whatever reason, but this in particular is talking about fathers and the role that they're playing in this particular bill. So I want to go right into a particular section. And once again, thank you for tuning into Choices Now TV. It's my pleasure to come to you once again. Like I said, if I find something that's interesting, I want to bring it to you because it's your choice. It's your choice to act on it or not. Now, let me just say, it entitled the Responsible Fatherhood Initiative. Now, this is online. It starts at line 457 of the bill. I really want to just talk about the father's part right now and how they're going to come into helping with our children and playing a more productive role in the children's lives. So this particular initiative, and this is what kind of captured my attention. It says that it's subject if the resources are available, in so many words. The department shall contract for development and implementation of the Responsible Fatherhood Initiative. So you would say, well, what is the Responsible Fatherhood Initiative? So I kind of did a little research to see, just what that's all about. And it says and this is taken from, it's public, it's got it off the internet, yes. It says the Responsible Fatherhood curriculum is intended to assist fathers in a more effectively fulfilling their roles as parents, partners, and workers. Okay? So it was developed over a number of years in the peer support groups that were the glue of the Parents' Fair Share demonstration for low-income, non-custodial fathers. Okay? So this has made it all the way to our state government. And this initiative, given that the funds are available, is going to provide, it says this initiative must provide an opportunity for every father, now listen, every father in the state to be able to obtain information and inspiration. Remember, this is about helping fathers connect with their children. How can they do that? And this initiative is going to help with that if the funds are available. Now, as I read through this, they're not giving it to fathers in particular. Of course, they want to attach it to a nonprofit organization that will, that's going to apply for these funds, but they have to have measures in place in which to assist these fathers in getting the information and the inspiration, okay, that will motivate and enable him to enhance his abilities as a father. recognizing that some fathers have greater challenges than others and would benefit far greater support. This is written in this particular document. I just printed it out. Like I said, I went through each line, but I wanted to really kind of get in on this fatherhood part, the Fatherhood Initiative part. Responsible Fatherhood Initiative is what it's being called. Now, the initiative must, at a minimum, so your organization, your nonprofit organization, if you want to tap into these funds, and we're going to get into when you can apply for this grant because they're out there, they're available. So if you know someone, you put them on alert because it's going to open up really soon. Now, I said the initiative must, at minimum, include a website and other related electronic resources that will allow the father to obtain information about effective parenting, identify areas in which support would enable him to enhance his ability to be an effective father, and be connected to such support, including but not limited to support provided by organizations receiving grants under this section. Okay, so you have to have these connected to such support, including but not limited to support provided by organizations receiving grants. All right, so they have to have, gathering the information in which to do so. Now, it says use of appropriate materials from the Fatherhood Media Campaign available through National Response of Fathers Clearinghouse. Subject to available resources, the initiative must include, but need not be limited to, print, television, digital, and social media elements. It's a public event, it says. Public event, and may include appearances by the involvement from public figures and influencers. Okay, so if you have an organization and you're trying to tap into some of these resources, you have to know you have certain things that must be in place in order for you to qualify. Now, here it states that the person or entity with which the department contracts for the initiative must collaborate with other agencies and organizations to develop and implement the initiative. Grants to address the needs of fathers. Now, there are some particular grants that are out there for particular needs of the father. Now, it states here, and I'm at section 409.1465. I'm going down to section 2. Now, it's 34 pages, so I just want to kind of get into a few things. Legislation, they are aware of the importance of both parents acting responsibly, caring for their children, but they're really targeting in on the father's role. And it says that, this is interesting. Let me just go back to section 1. The legislator recognizes that families are stronger when both parents act responsibly by caring for their children. It is the intent of the legislature to recognize and support the important and unique roles of fathers. This unique role that fathers play in ensuring the physical, emotional, and economic well-being of their children and families. Okay, so with these particular grants, and I'm going to try to speed through this, but bear with me if you would. So the second section, it talks about subject to available resources. And as I went through this in these grants, it keeps saying subject to available resources. Now, you brought this in as an initiative for responsible fathers. So make the funds available. Make them available, not if they are available, but make these resources available to the fathers. Now, the department shall award grants to not-for-profit community-based organizations to address the needs of fathers. The department shall award the following types of grants. The following types of grants are going to be awarded. Grants that comprehensively addresses the needs of fathers, such as assisting them with finding employment, managing child support obligations, transitioning from a period of incarceration, accessing health care, understanding child development, and enhancing parenting skills. A lot of fathers that were incarcerated, they're lacking in some of these areas. Also says services provided must be tailored to the needs of the fathers being served. Case management services must be provided to the fathers who are served by the grants under this paragraph. And this is the paragraph. I'm at section of this particular bill. Line 507 is where I'm beginning now. Before 507. So lines 507 starts with grants that provide evidence-based parenting education specifically for fathers. The grant under this paragraph do not require case management services, but it does say the department shall prioritize applicants for a grant specified under subsection 2 based on the need in a geographical area and the population to be served by the grant as indicated by and at minimum. Okay, so this is, in order to access these funds, these are things that they're looking for in your particular region, in your area. Now, this is the state of Florida. So the unemployment rate they're going to be looking at, the incarceration rate, housing instability, number of single parent households, a number of public benefit recipients, graduation rate, as well as levels of academic achievement. Now, the applicant has a primary mission of or a history of a significant focus on the effective work towards addressing the needs of men and their roles as fathers. So if your organization is something that is an organization that kind of targets in on this is going to be for you, applicant, current, and historical involvement in the community being served. Now, if your organization has been doing the work already and you just, your funds are kind of running a little low, or you may be up and running okay, but it's always a need to help transition our men back into not just the community, but into their homes. Remember, this is a Child Welfare Act, and like I said, this bill is titled an act relating to child welfare. Okay, so it's about the welfare of the child. So applicant commitment and capability to employ competent staff who can effectively engage with fathers being served, including at minimum those individuals who share similar backgrounds as fathers being served. It's a lot here, but know that in this particular is HB, House Bill 7065, there are some grants that are available. They're becoming available. Let me just say this. Like I said, I didn't want to be very long, but I wanted to bring this to you. Let me say, this bill is going to go into effect July 1st. July 1st. So those funds, I know you have grant writers, people that are out there that are, that's what they do. They look for funding for the organization. Have them go check this particular bill out and find out what grants your organization qualifies for, because you may be able to tap into some of this if you meet the criteria. Okay, they have things in line, in place. So it's not just, okay, I'm going to apply and I'm going to get this funding. No, you have to have your affairs in order to tap into these resources. They also have grants for mentorship of at-risk teens. So, let me just see if I can hit a few things real quick. No, can you just keep note? July 1st is when this grant is going to open up. It's going to start July 1st. Grants shall be awarded no more than 3 years. Okay. Subsequent year funding contingent on compliance with grant requirements and adequate performances. So you can't just get the money, okay, I'm going to do it next year. No, you got to have your books in order. You got to show progress. You got to show that you're doing what it's intended to be done with these funds. Now, let's see. Like I said, it talks about there's grant for if your mentorship is at-risk male students who are in middle school or high school, and in that particular program, if that's your program, I knew of a young man that it's like men to mentor, something like that. A young man that I came across some years back. They had an organization and they were doing pretty well. I don't know if they're still in business, and I know there's a couple of places, people that have started organizations helping young men in particular that are nonprofit. I hope that they're still doing well, but that these are funds that would be accessible, available to them if they fall in line with the guidelines here. Okay, so let me just say this, because it's a lot. Like I said, it's 34 pages. I don't want to stay on here too long. July 1st, there's $70 million that has been set aside, $70 million. It's a 32.6 million grants to us that will assist fathers. Say $32.6 million in grants. Okay, that will assist fathers. Now, it's stating that, now this part, well, let me just go here. As I read through this bill about the initiative to create for responsible fathers, that's what they're calling it, I began to think about what makes a father responsible. A lot of men, and I'm a woman, but a lot of men, what they want to do is provide for their family. This is my take, okay? I want to give you my take. They want to provide for their family. So if they've been incarcerated, if they've had a hard time in life, they can't seem to get over that little hurdle for whatever reason, a man wants to be respected as a man, number one. They want to be respected. They want to be a provider for their family. They want to be that role model for their family. Do they always hit the mark right? No, not at all. But when they've come out of the system after being incarcerated for X amount of years, what better way to give them a fresh start than to wipe their slate clean, depending on what the charge is now, wipe their slate clean, give them an opportunity to go into the workforce and provide a living for their family, legal living for their family. A lot of repeat offenders get frustrated and they go back into the system because they feel that they're being disrespected. Now they've served their time. They went to jail, prison, wherever. They served their time. They've did their probation. They paid all their restitution. They've done all of that. Now they just want a clean start. They want to go out and they want to get a job. They can't make up for lost time, but they can start where they are and move forward. So how can we help them be responsible? The state of Florida, for one, can start by when they've completed their sentence, completed their time, expunging, closing out their case. Don't keep them in chains. Okay? That's one. Keep in mind, I said, depending on what the charge is. I'm not talking about those ones that have done some heinous things. No. But give them the opportunity, because that's all a man wants, is to come home and be able to take care of their family. That's my take. Okay? This is a great bill. It's got some good things in it. It's talking about children that are aging out of foster care. One time when they were aging out, they were, I think they were given a stipend of $17.26 a month. It's going up to $17.75 a month. And that's pretty good. That helps when they go off to college, help them be able to, to take care of some things. That's just like, it's below minimum wage, but that's not really below minimum wage. But that's an increase for them. That's an increase. And anytime there's an increase for a young adult that's coming out of foster care, that is a help. I knew of a young lady that we used to pick up, and she was in the system, and she aged out. They helped her get a place. She got a car, but it was just recently, it was $1,256 monthly. This is for the child that is aging out of the foster care system, and it's going to increase to $1,720 monthly. Now, for whatever reason, things happen. But this initiative is really talking about fathers. I know there are a lot of mothers out there, and we are we're nurturers by, that's our instinct. We're nurturers. So, like I said, just wanted to bring this to you. Keep in mind, keep this date down, July 1st. This initiative, this bill will take effect July 1st. So, if you know anyone that can benefit from these grants, that have their things together, all their paperwork, administrative, they have the board in place, everything's in order. You can't just pop up and say, I'm starting a nonprofit so I can get something. No, you got to have your things in order. You have to have a track record of what you've done in the community. And if this is you, please take advantage of this information. Go ahead, look up this particular bill. You can go to myfloridahouse.gov, myfloridahouse.gov. Put in where it's talking about where the actual bill is. You're going to type in HB 7065. HB 7065. It's 34 pages, but it's very, very much worth going through. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep in mind, if you like the content that's coming to you right now, when I find something that's interesting, I'm going to bring it to you. Something that I feel is interesting, I'm going to bring it to you. All right. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Choices Now TV. If you like it, subscribe, share, tell someone about the channel. I hope to keep bringing you interesting information. Remember, this is Choices Now TV. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great one.